Okay. We're live. Okay. And we're live, right? 3. All right. Hello. Let's get started. Welcome to the Kickstart Kitchen. And I'm George. And today is Wednesday, day 2 of week 4. And we are looking at the Kickstart menu. And one of the things I like about this menu is the fact that not only is the days laid out, but there's also a grocery list. And one of the things about this is that there are recipes. Now, the great thing about cooking as opposed to baking is a precise science. Cooking, you get to have fun. Cooking to me is recipes. So I welcome you coming on board. We're doing a Kickstart. It's part of a program that we're working on improving metabolic health. I'm George. I'm 73. I'll tell you a little bit about my story in a minute. But we're looking to help make awareness to changes we can make, how we can do better, be better, feel better. Because isn't that what we all want? I mean, I don't know too many people that want to still feel bad. No, I don't know anybody that wants to stay bad. So let's look to feel better. Now, one of the things on the menus today is it is a low-carb cheeseburger bowl. Now, in this recipe, I call for beef. I'm going to use lamb. I love lamb. At least it's not turkey. We're going to talk about that. I'm also going to do a portobello steak burger as well. So those are what's going on. I've got the grill started. And so one of the things we're going to look at here is winners focus on winners and losers focus on winners, right? Winners just focus on winning. That's my favorite one. So I'm going to talk about metabolic health. And when we go forward on the Kickstart program, we're going to talk about this. Coming up is for us, is meat. So this is one of the impetuses of why we're doing this. It's because I've been known as Mr. Belly So Big all the way to maple syrup. Now, I've been a yo-yo dieter most of my life. And it led me down a path I didn't even realize until my fasting blood glucose was 834 with an A1C of 18.1. That is critical emergency level care is necessary. 834 and 18.1. I walked out of that clinic with no intervention, with no prescriptions, with no medical plan because I walked in on my own. I figured I could walk out on my own. And in my head, I thought food got me into this mess, food will get me out. So I found a protocol we'll talk about it later, a natural protocol. In 107 days, I went from an 834 fasting blood glucose to 90, an A1C of 18.1, which is critical danger, necessary treatment, insulin, blah, 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 to 7.2 on an exponential scale that's unheard of. So this is what happened for me on 107 days in the protocol. I'll talk about it later. But yeah, this is me from Mr. Belly So Big and maple syrup was how I got my nickname with 834 on an all-natural protocol. Now I'm 73, and at age 73, I'm also supposed to be losing muscle. That's what we do. It's just, they say, well, you're just getting old. Well, I suffer from sarcopenia. I got down to 143 pounds. I'm up 9 pounds. 30% lean muscle mass at age 73. So we're going to talk about that. Another thing I want to let you know is that coming in November, and if you'd like to get tickets to this in November in Orlando, There's one-day event. If you know anybody that loves fitness, wants to know about metabolic health, wants education from the leading experts in the world, we've got in our lineup on November 8th, we have Dr. Jamie Seaman, who is an author of and is a host of Fit and Fabulous podcast. We've got Dr. Carlos, and he's the author of The Metabolic Miracle. We have Dr. Nick, and he's a prevention medicine expert and certified CrossFit trainer. We have Cynthia Turlo, and she is the author of Intermittent Fasting Transformation. We have Dr. Ben Bickman, the leading metabolic researcher in the world at BYU, author of Why We Get Sick. We have Dr. Jason Fung, author of the Obesity Code and the Diabetes Code. And we have Nina, who is author of The Big Fat Surprise. Those guys are all coming to our event one day in Orlando. If you'd like tickets and to come, put tickets in the chat, and I'll get you the information on this lineup. So yeah, Mr. Belly So Big, that's me. So we're going to talk about that. One of the things that we're going to look at is, while I get started, as I always do, I'm going to start out with my stronghold. And I've already had one of my chlorogenic acid teas. This is Stronghold. And Stronghold is a wonderful complex. And it has creatine, it has leucine, it has HMB in it. And it has an awesome pineapple taste. So I'm going to drink this first. The reason I'm going to do it first is because after a bit, I will have my fiber before I eat. So I'm going to start drinking this on the day. So we're going to be doing grilled portobello. We're going to be doing lamb on the grill. And so that's our menu for the day. So let's start with the portobello. Now, one thing I've taught you kids is the fact, and I call you all kids because I'm 73 and very few of you on social media are older than me. So if you are, great, I love it. But most of you, you're kids. Storing mushrooms, when you bring them home, use a paper bag, take them out of the plastic, put them in a paper bag. They'll keep longer. And they won't turn slimy on you. So we're going to use portobello. And so I've got these. Look how nice these look. Look how nice and fresh they look. You can do that by storing them in a paper bag. Okay, that keeps longer. One of the things we're going to do, and they're clean on the top, we're going to take out the bottom. Just going to take out the stem. You can cut it out or you can tear it out. I'm just going to tear it out like that. I'm going to tear it out like that. And now you can take a spoon and take out the gills. I'm going to leave them in. They don't bother me one way or the other. So we're going to score this. So we're going to score these. And we're going to score this because we're going to do a little marinade. See, I'm just going to cut right through here. Not cut it all the way through, just going to score it. Just some nice cuts. And you can do this when you have a nice sharp knife. So you see how those are nice and scored? Do this one too. Score it across. And this will allow the marinade to be done very quickly. So we've got those scored. Okay? So now let's make the marinade. Put my knife down. For this marinade, I'm going to use some oil. This is avocado oil. You can use olive oil, but I wouldn't use anything, or maybe coconut oil. But so there's that. I'm going to put in a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of soy sauce. We're creating marinade. That looks good. We're going to put in, if I had some balsamic vinegar, I'd put in some balsamic vinegar. I don't have any. So I'm going to use some marsala. Again, these are recipes, are a suggestion. You get to have fun with them. So I'm going to put a little marsala for some flavor. And we're going to add just a little bit of liquid smoke. I'm showing you that you can do this, but you don't need but just a bit, because I'm going to put it on the grill. But if you're doing these indoors in the home on a skillet, then why you would like to have that a little bit of smoke. Going to add some garlic. Going to add some paprika, smoked paprika. And that will be good. All right, so I'm going to mix this up so you can see how that's all mixing in there. Okay. And we're going to turn these upside down to start. I'm going to put some on the inside of this, brush it in for this flavoring. Let's get it in there. And here too, a little bit more. We'll put some on the outside of the cap. And the nice thing about having scored this is that the flavor will go in deeper to the muscle, if you will, to the meat of the burger, which is a portobello. I love portobellos. I love mushrooms, don't you? I like all kinds of mushrooms. I really like lion's mane. One of these days, I think I'll have to make my coquille Saint-Jacques, and I use lion's manes in that. And I think you'll like that. And I also use duck egg. I don't use any flour. Don't make a flour roux. I use a technique where we don't have to use flour. And it's delicious. And I like using tarragon with scallops as well. That's my favorite seasoning with them. Let's just cook this up a little bit. See if we're going to get it all around. Look at that. Isn't that nice? So we're letting this soak in. Now, when you cook mushrooms themselves, one of the mistakes that people make when they cook mushrooms is that they put them in butter, put them in oil to start. You need to let mushrooms cook first. Fry them up, saute them up dry. Let them sweat a little bit. Let them get their moisture out first. Okay? All right, so there we got those. They're going to ready to go. I'll put them on the grill in a minute. And the next thing is we're going to do burgers, and the burgers are going to be lamb. So we're going to use lamb. Now, the only thing this is a lamb, okay, and it's from Aldi, ground lamb, and never ever. So there's never, ever antibiotics, no hormones, and it's vegetarian feed. So it's a great, wonderful, flavorful meat. I love lamb. My favorite. Certainly more than, I like turkey any day of the week. So I'm just going to take this pound and make it into two patties. And just using a paper bag or a plastic bag here, keep my hands clean. And on a glass plate, you can see how I'm getting them shaped. And then when I get them out, I'll put them out on the grill. I'm not trying to make them perfect. There we go. Got them shaped. Good with that? Cool. All right. All right. And then I am going to put just a little bit of pepper on them and salt. A little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And I'll season when I flip them over. Okay, guys, I'll be right back. I'm going to throw these on the grill. Going to throw the portobellos on the grill and this. I'll be right back. And it's 12:16. Okay, cool. Right back. Okay, so we got those out started on the grill. Wash my hands. And it's 12, okay, it's 16 after the hour. Cool. 16 after the hour. So we'll check on them at 21 after the hour. So now I want to talk about, we're going to look to do a salad with it in a bowl. One of the things we want to teach you guys, reteach you one more time, is I'll talk to you about the mushrooms. Another thing is that if you buy lettuce or spinach and you get it in a package like this is like 2 weeks now that I've had this. One of the secrets to have them last longer so they don't turn brown is go ahead and put a paper towel on the top and bottom. Look how nice these are. When there's no brown, there's no black, extra moisture spoiling. And so that's a secret to keep your greenery like this last longer, is to go ahead and if you got to keep it in the container it comes in, put paper towel in the bottom and put paper towel on the top, and you'll see that it will stay without spoiling, without turning black, especially spinach. Lettuce, the same thing. So see how I have that in there, how nice and dry it is, and it'll stay like that. And I'm going to use some of that making a salad. Same thing is true here. And this was bought on sale. Okay, see how nice these leaves are for the romaine. We'll do the same thing with that. So what we're going to be doing is making a bowl, a lettuce bowl. And so we're going to take some head lettuce. Grab a bowl here. This is a nice little bowl here to make the salad. And in this case, we're going to use up some of this old lettuce, head lettuce. You hear the crunch on that? How fresh it still is. Been able to keep it that way. Wonderful. And guys, actually, I'm going to eat today. A lot of times I don't get it. I don't eat until later because I have to finish things off camera. So I'm actually going to eat this today. Got to drink my Stronghold. Now this calls for okay. We're going to add some spinach to the salad. We just had some out. It's going to take it and tear it. The stems are good. I have not an issue with stems. If you do, you can go ahead and chop them. Okay. But then they have some of that. So there's spinach on top of the leaf, right? And then I'm going to add a couple leaves of the romaine, which is always good and crunchy. These nice hearts. So now I have a nice stack of layered lettuces. See? Nice, nice, nice. Okay. Next thing is we're going to add some tomato. Good. Now, I like Roma tomatoes in this case. Why? Because they're firmer. They're not sloppy wet. Okay, so I'm going to, and these are right from the garden outside. So I'm going to cut the romaine in quarters, lengthwise, and then simply cut across. And see how nice and meaty they are? There we go. See how nice and meaty they are? They're not sloppy wet. All right, so they're there. And it says to put some cheddar cheese on it. So you know what? Let's do that. We're going to go ahead and get our cheese grater. And I'll show you how this works. If you haven't ever seen one of these, like in the fancy restaurants, you know, so they go ahead and you put the piece in, and there's a little right there. This just turns. Nice. I'm going to take some of this cheese off the block. It's always better if you can make your own cheese rather than the prepackaged shredded, because it's a lot cleaner because you don't have the extra cellulose, which could be corn cob. It could be any kind of byproducts. You don't know what it is. And if it's corn cobs or that cellulose, see, all they say is cellulose. They don't say anything other than cellulose. Well, that's anything that's a plant. So was it GMO? How clean are you eating? How clean do you want to eat? So we're going to have this right there. And see how that turns a little bit? So we're going to put that in one more time, press down. That's probably all of it. Almost. We'll take it, fold it in quarter. Try it that way. There's more. Oh, you know what? Finish off. Okay, I'm going to run out to the grill. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. Okay. All right. And they're still going good. All right. So we've got, look at this, is looking great, isn't it? So now let's add, else we want to add to the salad. Let's add an avocado. So we're going to take an avocado. One of the nice things of picking an avocado is you want to pinch this way. Don't squeeze them like that. That doesn't help you. Feel the tenderness and not mushy on that. Take your handy dandy avocado tool. Love this little thing. And it's always a mystery of how fresh they'll be. So you go put it there, you hold it still, and you turn the avocado in your hand. Look at that, how nice that pulls open. Gotta turn that right in. There's a pit. Oopsie. See that? So now the nice thing about this tool is it's gonna go, when you take it in, it's gonna slice it as we pull through. Slices are made right there. See how clean that is? Take the other side, take the other one, go in, take it right up. See how nice the slices are? So I got slices to go on my salad. Beautiful. Cool. There we are. How's that? I think that looks great. Yum. So while it's still growing, the grill is still cooking our portobello and our steak. One thing I want to talk about is one of the issues we have in our metabolic health. Now remember, I was a yo-yo dieter, and it really did. It led me down a path to where I finally had a thing I didn't even understand, which is called diabetes type 2. I had an 834 A1C, which is hospital critical level. I also had an A1C of 18.1. If you look those up, you'll find that those are emergency cares needed. Now, that was my fasting. I had waited 20 hours between meals before I got that blood drawn. I thought I could beat the system. If I was 834 fasted, how high was I normally? Totally out of control. Totally out of control. I was eating, have you been told to eat 3 meals and then snack, eat every 2 hours? Have you been told that? If so, put that in the chat. I was told that too. That is stupid insane. Why? Because every time you swallow, every time we put something in and swallow it, it's got to creates chaos. What do I mean by that? Every time you swallow 2 pretzels, some almonds, a Butterfinger, cheese curls, a fufu coffee, French fries, fish, the cracker ones, all those, Nature Death Gabar. Every time you swallow something, it requires that there be enough glucose equal to the amount of sugar that you just drank, chewed, and swallowed. Like in some glasses of your coffees, there's 15 sugar cubes just in that. If you have a can of soda, there may be 7, 8, 10, 12 sugar cubes dissolved in that can. That means your body has to create an equal amount of insulin to try to get it out of your system. That was part of my problem. I was eating and snacking all the time. I never didn't have something in my hand I was drinking. I was never very far away. This far away was as far as I got from having something to drink. And nibble and snack constantly. Guess what that does? Chaos. How do you know? Do you have skin tags? I had skin tags. Did you have acne? I had acne. Girls, do you have hair growing on your face? Do you have irregular cycles? Do you have PCOS? Guys, do you have ED? Are you inflamed? Are you look like a pumpkin? Do you have inflammation, gout? Was your hair falling out? Brain fog? How many of you are tired? How many of you are tired after you eat? How many while you're eating thinking about your next meal? You're always searching. You go into the bathroom and start snoring. You have sleep apnea. Guys, all that's because the chaos. We're eating way too often. We're eating way too much. I'll be right back. I'm going to go check on the grill. All right, good. About 3 minutes and they'll be coming off. So when we're eating this often, that creates chaos. What we really want is, how many of you really want to burn fat? If you want to burn fat, put BF in the chat. If you want to burn fat, put BF in the chat. You know why? Because that's what you really want to do. And how do we burn fat? We burn fat when we aren't burning sugar. You can't burn both. You can't burn both. And how long do you want to burn fat? Most of us would say as long as we can, right? As long as we possibly can. I want to burning fat. Good. Then stop eating. Stop snacking. Did you know even your pills, if you take pills right away in the morning when you get up, unless you're absolutely required to take them in the morning, and I'm not a pharmacist, I'm not a doctor, so I can't tell you what, but they also have sugar. You know, a spoonful of sugar makes medicine go, you know, guess what? They have sugar. Guess what? That breaks your fast. As quick as you put something down your gullet other than plain water or a chlorogenic acid tea, you are breaking your fast. And you're going off of fat burning and on to sugar burning. So the goal here is, think about it. Once you go to sleep, once you stop eating at night, if you eat, try to eat, stop dinner and don't have a bowl of ice cream. Don't have popcorn. Don't have that couple of little snicky snackies, right? We're getting, guys, I know it. We're getting into Halloween time, right? It's October. We're getting into the 6 months of candy. Think about it. Every month for the next 6 months is candy themed. It's planned to destroy your metabolicness. So I'll be right back and we'll check on the grill. All right, look at this, guys. Look at this portobello and the lamb burger. You can hardly tell which is what. Maybe you can. But look at that. Doesn't it look great? All right, so we're going to do that. I'm going to put some of each on there. So I finished my stronghold. And my stronghold, again, is creatine, leucine, and HMB. It muscles, build your muscle. Okay, that's what that is. Now, I'm going to drink my fiber. Now, the reason we do that is that's the order of food. I'm going to give you another free thing of advice. I've told you how to burn fat longer. You want to burn fat? Don't eat snacks. Stop snacking. As quick as you eat dinner, you're done. Dessert, spell dessert backwards. If you spell dessert backwards, doesn't it spell stressed? So we're going to put fiber back in our diet because it's been removed for profit. Just quite frankly, fiber's been moved out of your food process, out of our diet, simply for profit. It's cheaper to put in modified starches into your food than it is to keep fiber in there of the natural fiber. And the reason is because it increases the shelf life. See, if they used real fiber, original fiber, products would not have the shelf life that they do, right? So for profit, it's cheaper to take it out, take some of that fiber and feed it to cattle, fatten them up so they can fatten you up with the hormones. They can see this is a patented fiber that I'm drinking this. This is called Balance, and it's 4 patents on this. You can find it in the prescribersdigitalreference.net. But this is going to help slow down the absorption of the food and also feed the good bacteria. Look how thick this is. Look how thick this is. That's the soluble fiber that's turning to the gel. And the insoluble fiber is the fiber that's going to feed the good bacteria. Do you want to know why you have irritable bowel? Do you want to know why you have the problems with your gut? It's because you have too many bad bacteria. Why do the bad bacteria win? Well, because their fiber isn't in your diet. If you give them good fiber, your gut works well. You have easy gluten pooping, if you will. You're going to be regular. Okay? And this is the berry. We have there's 2 flavors, berry and orange. Orange is kind of like a muted dreamsicle. The berry is kind of like maybe a Starburst. In terms of flavor, that is so good. So go back over here. We're going to eat, and our order of food is fiber, fat, protein, and carb. Why? Well, let's look at it. When you eat carbs first, and most of it is what you do, think about if you had a breakfast. What did you have? Did you have eggs and steak? Or did you have a bowl of O's or oat or muffin, toast? I don't even care if it's whole wheat toast. It doesn't matter. It's carbs. And you had a muffin. And then you had a malted coffee. Those are all rich in carbohydrates, which spikes the blood glucose, which then causes a spike in the insulin, the hormone that's got to push it into the muscles until they can't take anymore, and then tries pushing it into the liver till it can't take anymore. The brain can't take anymore. Eventually, you start storing it up in the visceral fat, and then when it can't take more than that, the largest organ on your body is the what? If you know what the largest organ in your body is, put it in the chat. But yes, you're right. It's the skin. Your skin is the last and first line of defense. Your skin is the first line of defense from the outside. It's the last bastion of defense from the inside, because when you have too much glucose, when your blood sugar is too high for too long, you eventually start what? You create what's called a resistance. Because the cells inside can't take anymore, the cells outside have to get stuck with it. And what happens is now you start growing buds. Those are skin tags. Girls start getting facial hair, right? Your hair starts to fall out. You have brain fog. You're constantly fatigued. You have inflammation in the face and the shoulders. You may have gout. You have PCOS. Guys may have ED. I've had almost every one of these things. Not PCOS, I'm not a girl, right? But I've had all the others. I had gout. I didn't have retinopathy. I didn't have neuropathy like some people do. A couple of my friends had ulcers the size that they could put they could put their fingers in like this inside their foot, in their body. People lose legs. People lose foot. People lose toes. People die from this. So this is why I'm passionate, because people are dying because they're not listening, because they've been told wrong. They've been lied to. We've been lied to. I mean, how many of you go to the doc and you don't feel right, and they go, oh, you're fine. The blood tests all say you're normal. But you feel like crap. You know something's wrong, but they aren't giving you, and they're not telling you what's really the problem. Why? Because there's no profit on making you well. If you get healed, if you recapture your normal God-given health, think about it. The medical industry isn't making any money on you. Doctor's not making any money on you. Pharmacy's not making any money on you. Nursing home isn't making any money on you. The hospital's not making any money on you. The insurance isn't making any money on you. You are a loss to them. Good. Let's get healthy. Let's stop participating in a sick care system. So we can do that by controlling what we eat. We have control. I should have had control, but I never learned. I didn't know. So I got to over 205. The most I ever weighed was like 280. I'm down to 152 now. I have a 28-inch waist. I lost 14 inches on my waist. I've gained 9 pounds. It's not about muscle, or it's not about weight loss. And a lot of you get on the protocol, a lot of people lose weight. Yes. But we also gain weight, and then we maintain it without counting carbs, without counting calories, without going crazy things to the gym, without restrictions, crazy restrictions. I want pizza. I have pizza. I just drink more balance. I drink more fiber ahead of time. I plan that. I can go to a party if I know if I'm going to a tailgate party in a couple weeks to Wisconsin, for example. If I go up to that and I know it's going to be a mountain of carbohydrates on a plate with a waterfall of beer, I can plan for that, drink an amount of fiber ahead of time so it'll slow the digestion down, which then lowers the spike of the glucose, those carbohydrates, and concentrate when I'm looking to eat. I'm going to eat fiber first. So I'm looking for the veggies, right? I'm looking for the fiber, not for the chips. I'm going to be looking for the chicken wings that aren't sauced up. I'm looking for those kinds of meats, right? Not for the brownies. Not that I might not have a brownie, but it's going to be at the end. And a good chance I might be full by then. So that's where we start looking at fiber, fat, protein, and carb. So we want to burn and want to limit our eating to maybe once or twice. And if we're going to do that, think about this, 2 times inside of there, that's your eating zone. That's your eating zone. Go ahead. If you have to snack, do it between the 2 meals, not before and not after. Let the before and after be fat burning. You purposely then turn off the fat burning when you eat, when you take a pill. And so that way you can avoid being Mr. Belly so big or Mr. Maple Syrup. And the reason I haven't called me maple syrup is because my blood with an A1C of 18.1, I had maple syrup and not blood in my system. Here's another meal. Like you can see this meal right here that we just prepared. We've got fiber, 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 fiber. We have a carb, which is the tomato, but it's also what? It is wrapped in fiber. And we have fat in the cheese. We've got a portobello mushroom, which is fiber. And I've got a lamb burger, which is protein. This is more than enough, right? I probably won't eat all this. But this is another meal right there. Here's 2 more that we've done. Tell me that those don't look delicious. So the whole thing, guys, is that we want you to understand that you have control. We want you have the power. We want you to be able to take back decision making for your own health care, because the protocol will help you maintain that style. The wonderful thing about the tea is that it has a chlorogenic acid in it, which then helps increase your GLP-1 naturally, okay, by 60%, BYU. The fiber was studied at the Cleveland Clinic, the #1 heart hospital in the world. And they said that such a product, now they said this like 30 years ago. Think about this. The #1 cause of death in America is what? Cardiovascular disease. The #1 medication in the world for that is a what? It sounds like Satan. And its side effects are, and a lot of those names are land in OR, like something or, and this an or, and that an or. This right here in this packet, the Cleveland Clinic said that such a product, given on a population basis, would reduce the need and or dose of lipid-lowering drugs. Plant-based, 100% natural, listed in the gold standard, which is the PDR. Any physician, any pharmacist worth their salt could find this and prescribe it, and that's not even a prescription. And that's why they won't, because they don't make money on it. They don't make money on you. Right here. Take control. You want control? Take control. It's listed. No side effects. No negative interactions. If you're taking that shot, if you're taking a pill, it's cost you 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, I don't care how much it costs you. You can add this to the protocol it'll be that you're doing, and it will be more effective than what you're doing. It will enhance what you're doing with no side effects. How effective is it? We know. Well, let me ask you this. In 90 days, it's going to be time to make your New Year's resolution, isn't it? In 90 days, it'll be time for you to make your mental lie that'll last for 10 days, maybe. You could already be there. You could already be there before with no problem. And Canada, it's in Health Canada. It's in Canada as well. You can look it up. It's in the Health Canada. We are in over 60 countries. If you're able to listen to this anywhere in the world, pretty much anywhere in the world, you have access to this. Reach out. This is literally going to disrupt the world. It could save you. It could save your family's health. Period. I'm passionate because it saved my life. Had I not found this, there's no question I would be dead. Guys, I had 834 fasting blood glucose and an A1C of 18.1. That was fasted. What was I normally going through? I should be dead. Look it up. Here, 73. These are 30 inches pants. So, am I starving? Am I eating poorly? Heck no. And neither do you. We just change the order we eat, fiber, and consciously do this: fiber, fat, protein, carb. Now, protein that starts with a P, but for me, fasting fiber, fat, protein. Protein starts with an F. I'm Filipino. You don't say Filipino. Say Filipino. Same thing. So keep in the F's and forget the C. Forget the C. Put the right fuel in and your car will operate the best. What's my analogy? If you have a car that runs on gas, it runs the best, doesn't it? What happens if you put diesel in? It's fuel. It's energy. It's fuel. What happens to a car with diesel? Done. Stops. Doesn't work. Car's dead forever. If you put gas in a diesel truck, what happens? Gone. Dead. If you put gas, and there's like 5, 6, 7 different grades, if you take the E85 or lower and put it in your Maserati, it's gas, right? It doesn't work the same way. It doesn't work well. Same thing with your food. Guys, if you see food and the label says, anywhere it says starch, if it says maltodextrin, put it away like it's poison ivy. If it says that, put it away. Put it away. If it says seed oils, and by seed oils, I mean sunflower oil, safflower oil, corn oil, canola oil, rapeseed oil. I forgot a couple right here. Put them away. Do not bring it home. If it says maltodextrin, leave it there. If you see 3 combinations like a seed oil, like soybean oil, cottonseed oil, canola oil, sunflower oil, combined with salt and any kind of sugar, maltodextrin, high fructose syrup, corn syrup, there's 260 names of sugar, guys. Don't bring those home. You have control. You have control of what you put in your cart. When you go to the store this next week, just open your eyes and look around and look at the people that are riding in carts and look at the cart that's in front of them that they're riding on or pushing, and count the number of bottles of soda on the top, the cases of soda on the bottom. Look at the mountain of chips and crackers, and look at the little bit of real food. Real food, whole food, does not come in a box or a bag. Manufactured, artificial, ultra-processed, addictive, comes in a box or bag and has a salt, has sugars, has seed oils, right? And starches. That combination, I tell you what, go down the chip aisle. This week, go down the chip aisle and look at the label. I don't care what brand you look at. Look at the recipe. It's always going to have the salt. It's going to have a sugar. It's going to have the seed oils. It'll have a starch. It'll probably have maltodextrin, high fructose corn syrup. It'll have canola oil, sunflower oil, sesame oil. It'll have rapeseed oil. They all have the same recipe. They all are designed for you to be addicted. I like those triangular ones, hot, super hot. You know, the hotter they are, the more ingredients there are, but they all follow the same toxic formula. Salt, sugars, maltodextrin, starches, and seed oils. You all know that they're not good for you. You already inherently know they're not good for you. So let's stop snacking and burn more fat. Let's stop snacking and eat our food in the order of food: fiber, fat, protein, and carb. And that will make all the difference in the world for you. This will make all the difference in the world for you. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Water. And if you can, get on a protocol. That's a great help. There's a 90-day money-back guarantee. Guys, if you joined a gym, do they give you a 90-day money-back guarantee? If you are on any prescription for high blood pressure, for diabetes, for your migraines, for your gut, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammations, do they give you a 90-day money-back guarantee? Or is the guarantee that you're going to be back to give them more money? Who's got the guarantee? You want to get off your meds? Here's hope. Don't want to get off your meds? Stay where you're at. Guys, I'll be back probably tomorrow. I have a wedding on Friday, so I may not be back on Friday. If I can be, I'll be back on Friday. Otherwise, I'll be back here tomorrow. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for coming by. If you have any comments, please put them in the chat. I want to educate. I'm passionate about this because this saved my life. I want to help you. Have a good day.